Hey everybody, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. I found some crazy stuff in December. Even after I did my best finds of the year video, I actually found some more that would have made the cut. So this is a heavy rotation, just showing you some of the heavy ones. And probably towards the end of the video, I'll give you a little bit of a life update. As the year comes around, I always reflect on the previous year and try to do better in the next year, see where I can improve, all that stuff. But one of the things that we always do at the beginning of every year is try to go do a purge. So go through all my collection, see what I need, what I don't need. You know, I have 6,000 records or so right now. So that's more records than I probably will ever listen to. I'm trying to talk my brain into letting certain things go. Like, you know, if I have a lot of jazz records, like Blue Note stuff, I have like 3 different copies. Like one's the audiophile, one's the first mono, one's, you know. And so the reason is, like, I like to talk about different pressings of my videos, stuff like that. But if there's something in the room that I don't think I'll ever listen to again, I'm gonna try to let it go. So I've picked out like 200 or 300 records. You see space right here, and then like this crate right here was all my White Stripes, Third Man stuff. I pulled a bunch of that stuff out that I didn't really think I'd listen to. But just, you know, as it goes, when you're collecting, you're super stoked on something at one point in time, and then as years go on, your focus changes, and then, you know, it's different. So here's how I'm doing a purge. I always do my purges now on Whatnot, so anybody in the whole world can buy it. So if you're not familiar with Whatnot, I'm gonna put the links for all this stuff below, but I'm gonna be purging a bunch of like pretty good stuff on Whatnot. Let's see, we got this Tuesday, which is January 9th. Next Tuesday, when it's January 26th. And then we might also do the following Tuesday. So go on my Whatnot profile, bookmark those shows. If you don't have a Whatnot account, just follow the directions below. You can get a $15 free credit towards your first purchase, whatever. I'm not doing this to pump up my Whatnot. I'm just letting you know that that's going on this Tuesday. So to get into the records, met a guy who had some amazing stuff, and he was selling the majority of his collection to fund some things, and he has like crazy stuff, Psych, Private Press, all that stuff, all different countries. And so when this type of thing comes around to where somebody's selling things and they're selling things that are hard to find and at reasonable prices, you kind of got to go for it, you know? So anyways, this was the one. I showed this in my Best Finds of 2023 video. I got this in December. This Stone Harbor Emergence. I've been wanting this record for years. This was at the very top of my want list. He had this. Let it go for a very good deal. This is a near mint copy. This whole stack of stuff I got from him, and I actually have an insane box coming from him. It should be here pretty soon, and it's got like, I think there's like 90 records in there. It's crazy. This is another one. This one is Mike Jackson. Beat it! No, not that Mike Jackson. This is Mike Jackson from the band Felt. So if you like the band Felt, which is unbelievable, incredible, one of my favorite psychedelic hard rock albums of all time, he wrote all the songs on there. He sang and played lead guitar on that record. This is his solo record. It's a little bit more gospel-y. I would say it's actually a lot more gospel-y, since Felt's not gospel-y at all. But this has got some great guitar licks in it. It's really, really a cool record. This one is Deep Night by the Sixth Station. This is a really interesting Private Press record. It came out in the mid-'80s, like 82, 83, I think. And it is a DIY lo-fi psychedelic rock that is recorded in a chapel by a Catholic priest, and it is so good. It's like when you first hear it, you might be like, not really my thing, but the more times you listen to it, you're like, man, this is good. It's just so pure. It's just like, it's softer, so it's not that real heavy stuff I always talk about, but it is got like a psychedelic feel to it. Like some of the guitar solos sound like Jerry Garcia. There's synthesizer stuff. It's pretty cool, but it's a very rare record. This is one I got from him, and the shrink, super clean. But man, I've really been enjoying this record. It is fantastic and just a cool I'm a sucker for a cool backstory. I'm a sucker for weird Christian music. I grew up in church, so I was always hearing like weird people in church. None of them were probably very good, but but I was always looking for a glimpse of rock and roll. I was always like, and then we used to have this guy that would come. His name was, I can't remember. I'll let you know if I remember. But he was this guy, and he would play just like Chuck Berry. He was incredible. And he would come around like twice, 3 times a year, and he was super sweet. But he had this Gibson 335, and he would let me play it, and I was like 12 years old or whatever, and I couldn't play anything. And he would kind of show me some stuff, but like he looked like Chuck Berry, he acted like Chuck Berry, he played like Chuck Berry. I saw him as like huge. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I don't even know why I learned that story, but certain things would come around every once in a while that would really like wet my whistle, and I'd be like, wow, that's cool, And one of my friends found one of his records. Apparently, this guy was dang, I wish I could remember his name. But he had like some rare 45s back in the day that are worth like $500 or whatever. But if I remember his name before the end of the video, I'll let you know. But that's a cool memory. Another one I got from him is this Catharsis, McDonald and Sherby. This is a crazy acid trip. It's amazing. I love this record. I already had one, but this one's sealed, which I'm going to be popping this open and listen to it very soon. The one I have is horrible. It's in terrible shape. I'm selling it on Whatnot. But I've had it for probably 5 years or more, and I've always wanted a nice clean copy. This one's still sealed. Thrilled to have it. But yeah, this one, I hate to skip over it so fast. Look at the cover, man. It's just, but this is McDonald and Sherby. That's their names right there, Catharsis, and it is just an out there psychedelic trip. Another one is Easter Island on the Bale label. This is a really cool private press prog record. If you like, if you didn't see my top finds of the year video, I spilled the beans on some of the records that we're going to be reissuing next year, but Yes to Earth was one of them, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of it. It's not quite as good, but it's still very good. I like the little tear. Look at that, the tear coming out of the Easter Island. If you guys know the statues on Easter Island, they all look like that. It's a pretty like weird phenomenon, But this record is amazing, super rare, private press, super clean copy, and it's all like really proggy. Another one, Harmonia. This is a fantastic, on the Brain label, kind of experimental electronic type record. I had a reissue of this. I'm putting that on my Whatnot. So anything in this stack that I had a reissue of, I'm throwing on Whatnot or whatever. So, but yeah, this is a fantastic record on the Brain label. I've been wanting it for years. Just never seen an original at an affordable price. He hooked me up with that one. This is one you don't hear about much. It's called Unison. It is real fuzzy, hard rock. It's got like a tinge of metal to it, but the guitar solos on this are unbelievable. They're incredible. Private press, it was reissued a few years ago, but it is the cover is killer. But it's super hard, super heavy, and like I said, it's a little bit leans a little bit into the metal, just a little bit. But the guitar solos are definitely more, pinch harmonic type of tap solos, that metal type of feel to it sometimes. But it is a shredder. This is a fantastic U.S. private press. Another one is Killing Floor. I had an original U.S. of this, but this original U.K. cover is just so much more killer. It's on the Spark label, and I have always wanted the UK cover, and he had one, and I got it, and there we go. So beautiful. My US press will be going on Whatnot. Hooch. This is one you don't ever see or hear about. This is like a real southern rock sounding early 70s hard rock record. Don't know a whole lot about it. private press, all that stuff, but very, very cool record. I've been wanting one for a long time. I think you can stream it on YouTube, but it is, I think that there are like some bootlegs of this floating around, but it's a very eccentric, weird record. But yeah, it is very cool. Been wanting this forever. Blind Ravage. This is a Canadian blues rock type thing. Got a super deal on this. Somebody had a sticker on it that says Canadian content. But this is, the sleeve is VG, but the record's super clean. And it is a kind of psychedelic blues rock type thing from Canada. It is absolutely fantastic. So he had this, which he was selling on Whatnot one night, and he had like, it was crazy. So like Whatnot, I want to talk about Whatnot a lot in this video because I've been getting some things off of there lately, but like sometimes crazy things happen. You can get really good deals. Like one time I sold a Randy Holden record for $1, just because like the site, something hiccuped on it, and then somebody got the thing for $1. So that happens every once in a while, which is kind of fun. But this kind of happened with this. This is Emiliano Zapata. So I talked about this in my best finds of the year. The Tema de la Película. Anyways, I can't speak Spanish. I used to be kind of good at it, but this is Emiliano Zapata, or the Revolution of Emiliano. I'm butchering this. But it is La Revolución de Emiliano Zapata is what it is. It's clear written right there in this one that I'm about to talk about. But Emiliano Zapata was not in this band. He was like a revolutionary in Mexico, but they named the band after him, I think. But this is a fuzz psychedelic. I mean, this is a grail. Never, ever, ever, ever see this. And then like when he put this up for sale, I think a bunch of people weren't able to bid or something, but I got it for really cheap. Was stoked to get it. It's an absolute fantastic, impossible to find psychedelic grail. I love South American psych stuff and hard rock stuff. I love stuff from every different country just because you could feel the culture and whatever you're listening to. It's really cool. But this is one that's more attainable. This is the first Mexican press of this. This is self-titled La Revolución de Emiliano Zapata. This is a first press, and what's nice about these is it says first press right there. It says Primera Edition, which means premier edition, first edition, and each subsequent edition says, second press, third press, whatever it is in Spanish. And so anyways, this is, they press these in the US as well. There's just several different pressings of this that are more gettable, more affordable, but I still didn't have one. So he had both of these. I got them both. Great, great, great stuff. Tip top. This is another one I talked about in my best finds of the year. This is the last one I got from him. This is Justin O'Brien and Jake. Time will tell. Kind of a mysterious private press psychedelic record. He talks about like UFOs and stuff, but it's just a weird one. I really have lately been drawn to like the weird. There's a lot of like private press stuff that's like got a tinge of psychedelia, but it's like weird Americana rock that's just strange. It's got synthesizers in it, stuff like that. Like this. This is kind of, the Stone Harbor is kind of that way, the Deep Night is kind of that way. But this is a fantastic example. Incredible record, and I love one that has some UFO lore to it. So right after I did my top finds of the year, like I want to say like the day after, this freaking unicorn popped up. I talked about this in my no, I didn't talk about this in my best finds of the year. I talked about this in my vinyl tag though. If you haven't done vinyl tag, do it. It's great. But this is Psych Ground, Psychedelic and Underground Music. This is on the Lupus label. This is an Italian library record. It's one of the rarest Italian, it's one of the rarest prog records, it's one of the rarest psych records and one of the rarest library records ever. It's absolutely unbelievable. I love this record. It's one of those that's been kind of like in the stratosphere, like maybe one day I'll find one, who knows. And met a guy who had one, you know how the story goes, and we got to talking, and we made a deal, and he gave me a really, really good deal on it, and we kind of have become friends over the past few weeks, and I bought a few more things from him, but this one, unbelievable. I have 4 records that are like stratosphere tip top. Well, I have more than that, I guess, but the top 4 are the Obsession 77, Fraction Moonblood, DR Hooker. I guess the Montgomery Express is up there too. Brief Encounter would be, but anyways, this one is one of my favorite finds of the year. I never thought I'd see that. There's another one that he had. That's an Italian. I believe it's Italian. Where is it? Yeah, Italian library. It's Rebus. And I don't know everything about library records, but there's so many of them, and they're so good. I'm still, I'm not ashamed to say I'm still learning. It is a vast, vast universe of records and knowledge to be attained. So that's the fun thing about records. You can just always, 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 always be learning something new. I get people that come in the shop all the time, and they say, like, I'll be playing one of my exclusives or something, like, what's this? And I'm like, oh, this is Stonewall. And they're like, I know every rock and roll album that came out in the 70s. I've never heard this. I'm like, well, you don't know every rock and roll record that I wouldn't even say that, And they say, oh no, I know every single rock and roll record that came out in the 70s. Like, people will say that, and they're like, dude, you don't know. You have no idea. Like, that drives me nuts when people say that. And so then I'll just say, oh, what about this? What about that? You ever heard of this? And then it's like their whole reality just like, what? I thought I knew everything. And I think we probably all been there to where we think we have a pretty good grasp on records, and then we start finding, like, going down a rabbit hole, we're like, what the heck? I didn't know about this stuff, and that's what makes it fun, For me, like, the deeper I go and the more I find, the more I realize, like, I have no idea what is out there. Like, I have no idea. I am not ashamed to say, if you ever meet anybody that acts like they know everything, they probably know a lot less than you do. But anyways, all that to say, this Rebus record, I didn't know about it, and he had it, and I bought it from him, and it's like jazz funky type of library. It's really, really good. Been enjoying it. Another guy on Whatnot. I don't normally, I try to stay away from the eBays and the Whatnot and the Discogs. I try not to buy online at all, and I've done a really good job of that over the past few months. But in December, I got roped in. I don't know what happened. But somebody tagged me in this guy's Whatnot, and he has been, this other guy, he's been known to post some heavy hitters from time to time. His name is Vinyl Jerk, and I bought from him a couple times. He's got some good stuff. But he had this one on there. I think he had another one that I saw that I wanted, but I was just too late. He had like a near mint Gandalf, which I already have one, but it could be cleaner. I'd like to upgrade it at some point. But he had this one, which I don't know if I can pronounce that. Luo De Columbo. This is a Italian prog. So Italian prog records are very hard to find, really expensive, rare, all that stuff, but they're tremendous. I love Italian prog. It has its own like special charm to it. You can spot it a mile away. It's got a very unique sound, but it's prog and it's fantastic. It's got the organ that's killer, the guitar that's killer. It is a fantastic Italian prog record. And I saw that and I was like, ooh, I want that. So he threw it up and I got it for what I feel like was a really good deal. This is a super, super, super clean copy. First Italian press, incredible stuff. So I was grateful for that one. I just took this off the turntable. I was listening to it before I got on here. But then he also had this one, which is Kenny Dorham. Around about midnight at the Cafe Bohemia. This is look at these labels, man. Deep Groove. And with those NYC, the Lexington Avenue, So that tells you late 50s. And so I'm watching it and I'm like, it's hard to tell because with jazz, it's so difficult because, like for this one, for instance, there's a 56 press, which is the first press, and there's a 57 press, which is the second press. And let's say you get the 57 press. For whatever reason, even though it's really close to the first, it's hard to sell. if you get one. For some reason, people just don't want it at all. I mean, well, I'm not saying that, but it just seems like that. Like I have a couple records on the wall at the shop that are like pressed like probably 6 months later. And since it's not a first press, even though it's priced really well, people are just hesitant to buy it, you know? They're hesitant to drop big money on something that's not a true first. And so I saw this on there, and he said, he's like, I think it's a first press. The way you know on these if it's a first press is if it's a window cover. So what that means is, see this line right here? And it goes back to, there's a square around the top. That's a window cover. And so I couldn't tell. And there's also like if it's a flat edge. So what they mean by flat edge is if this edge right here is flat. So it is flat. Or if it's beaded. So sometimes it has beads in it. And you can feel the beads when you do that. So anyways, first press is supposed to have the window cover and the flat edge. And he said, I think it's the first press. I'm not 100% sure. And so he ran it, and I was like, shoot. And I bid on it, and I got it for a really good deal, I feel like, and got it in the mail. And sure enough, it is a first press. So this is a first press with that window cover and the flat edge. So anyways, with jazz stuff, you get so in the weeds. It's so hard to know. You know, it's almost impossible to shoot from the hip if you're in a store without looking it up on Discogs. I hate that, but there's a lot of guys that like know every little thing. Like if it's this year, it's this thing, and you got to look for these. And, you know, if it was psych, I probably would. But for jazz, it's hard for me to retain all that. One day I'll get there. But anyways, and so was thrilled that was first press. And this is a mega jazz grail. I'm super thrilled to have that. It's a great copy, too. It's he described it as VG, which is like on the nose. I would say it's a strong VG. It plays, I mean, you barely hear any noise at all. It plays very, very well. Beautiful copy. Thrilled to have. Great price. Final Jerk, if you're watching this. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. A couple of Christmas gifts. My friend, Chris, his name is, oh gosh, I always forget because it's such a long username on Instagram. The realm of the dark realm of the something. I don't know. If you're on Instagram, message me. I'll send you his username. But he is a really good friend of mine. We talk about like psych and hard rock stuff all the time. But he got an upgrade of this, so he gave me his old copy of this White Summer for Christmas, which is no chump change. This is a big deal. This is a Grail record, incredible, that he gave me for Christmas, which meant a ton to me. Thank you, Chris, if you're watching this. And then this is another one that I got from Lance over at Permanent Records, LA. We did the Zipper. I did the Zipper exclusive with him, and he sent me a Zipper test pressing just to be nice, just as a nice little Christmas present. So thank you, Lance. You're a good buddy. This is one that I don't know that I ever put in a video, and I was sorting through my records and I found it. It got misplaced in the audiophile records. This is definitely not audiophile, but this is Joanie HR, Wake Up Your Mind. This is a really good, I believe it's Nigeria, yeah. Nigerian, like, Afrobeat funk record. Unbelievable, great stuff. I forgot that I bought it. I bought it and it got shipped to me, and I brought it home at some point, but I never put it on the turntable. I almost like totally forgot that I had it, and I was looking through some stuff, and like the other day somebody posted that, my friend posted on his top 9 finds of the year or whatever, that this was on there, and I was like, I swear I bought that record, but I have not seen it. And I was trying to figure out if it got shipped and all that stuff. Anyways, I found it. Incredible record. It's weird how that happens whenever these records you get. But sorry, I am like out of it today. My son was up all night last night. He was sick, and I was up with him, so I got like 2 hours sleep. All right, this is one that is, if you look at my want list on Discogs, which I am actually abandoning my Discogs account, starting a new one, because I've had my Discogs account, I don't know, since like 2011 or something, and I have always had like issues with it and all this stuff. But when I switch over, I have 2 accounts. One of them is the one I sell from, and the one of them is just like my personal account. The one I sell from, I have absolutely no issues with ever. So I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna move everything over to that. Maybe because I have so much in my collection and want list, maybe it's getting, I don't know, scatterbrained, I don't know, but we'll see, because I'm trying to move everything over now. But anyway, so I was looking at my earliest wants, and this was my earliest want on Discogs. The Smoke, great psychedelic record. This is one of those, I felt like everybody around me was getting them, and I was like, where are you guys finding that? I never found one. I finally found one, super clean copy, really nice, great psychedelic record. Thrilled to finally conquer that one. I talked about in early December, we bought this really great collection. I bought a Gibson 330 with the collection, but it went up to the mountains. It was like all this like Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, Black Crowes kind of stuff. This was in that collection. This Waylon Payne, Blue Eyes, the Harlot, I'm not talking about. But this is a great like country, Americana like country record. I had never heard it, and it looked interesting. I scanned it on Discogs and was reading about it, and I was like, I think I'm gonna listen to this. So like what I do is I have my headphones in when I'm pricing records, and I'll scan something. If it looks interesting, I'll just, you know how Discogs has like a play button on there. You can push play and listen to whatever. So I'm listening to music the whole time I'm pricing records, and so if it's something I like, I'll throw it in a stack and listen to it some more. So I listened to this on the first couple tracks, and I was like, man, I really like that. So I'll put it in the keep stack, and I've been listening to it. It is a ridiculously good record. If you like that country, like this is kind of like modern outlaw country. I love it. Waylon Payne, great stuff. And then this is another one, Whiskey Town, Pneumonia. And I've seen this record around. I've heard of Whiskey Town, but I never listened to them at all. I started listening to this, and immediately, first 10 seconds, I was hooked. It's such a good record. But it's like Americana country type stuff. And so this one I have listened to a ton since I got it. And then this is another one of theirs, which I don't know which came first. But this one came first, actually. That's their first one. Or an earlier one. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know anything. This is our first one. I actually like this one better, but I've spent more time with it. So this one I need to listen to a little bit more. But this is Stranger's Almanac. So anyways, it's always nice to learn about new music. And I'm sure like plenty of you are watching and you're like, this guy's an idiot. He didn't know Whiskey Town. Oh, whatever. I got a few from that collection. These are kind of standouts. The Neil Young Unplugged, I kind of toyed with keeping it, but I've got like such a pretty complete Neil Young collection. I don't have this, so really wanted to add that to the collection, so I'm going to. This is another one, Lenny Kravitz, Circus. Let me tell you guys, if you do not have this record, this record is absolutely amazing. I love it. This Lenny Kravitz stuff. So just to put you in, give you an idea, like 2010ish, started like selling online more. You find a Lenny Kravitz record, you're getting $100 easy. Back then, it was just like one of those records you'd find any. So I had this Circus record. I got it in the collection. I loved it. Can't Get You Off My Mind, I believe. Yeah, on this, that is my favorite Lenny Kravitz song. It's very short, but it is. I could play it for you. You want me to play it for you? No, I'm not gonna play it for you. But it is a fantastic record. I've not played that song in probably 10 years. But I love this record, and I needed some money, and I sold mine back then, and always wanted another one. I had the reissue, but since they reissued them, all the original Lenny Kravitz records have gone down like really cheap. So, and the reissues are really good. They probably sound better. So, all that to say, you know, maybe grab you one on one of the original ones because they're cheap now. Last one I'll talk about is I got this Black Sabbath, the Seventh Star featuring Tony Iommi. I didn't have this one. It was a promo. Got it in that collection, so I grabbed it. So anyways, that's been some stuff. Let's see if I can remember how to play this song. I don't know. This is completely impromptu because don't even know if I will remember the words. But let's give it a shot. Life is just a lonesome highway. I'm out here on the open road, old enough to look behind me, young enough to feel my soul. I don't want to push you, baby. I don't want you to be told. It's just that I can't breathe without you. So now I gotta be without you. I Got a pocket full of money and a pocket full of keys that have no bounds, Lord. But when I think of loving, I just can't get you off of my mind. Can't you see? This is killing me. I used to sing that to my wife all the time before she was my wife, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we used to love that song. But anyways, we're having a good time in life. Hope you guys are having a good one. For the new year, we've got a lot of really exciting things coming along. We've got the label is going very well. We've got so much traction with that. We've got a lot of excitement around it. We've got, I think we just signed a record the other day. We've got some really cool things going. So make sure you follow us everywhere. And thank y'all for 100,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. You guys are great.